go.
Okay, glad to see everybody here for this election blogging and social media workshop. And thanks to Jack for talking about freedom of speech and the Constitution. I'm going to go through the laws controlling blogging and social media during election campaigns. And there are quite a number of laws. There's one specific law that we need to know, and that's the Parliamentary Elections Act. So it really has two sections to it, and it involves our countdown to polling day. Because as we are here today, we are on the Saturday before nomination day. And for those watching this on video, this was recorded on the Saturday before nomination day.
29.
And 2015.
29.
Which is the 29th of August. And in less than 2 weeks, we're going to have polling day. And that's the day before polling day eve, which in Singapore is called our cooling off day. So let's talk about what's happening between now and polling day first. This is the whole broad picture. Then after this, I'll talk about what happens in the last 2 red days. So the big question is, most of us will have is, what can I post or share or reblog or comment on my blog, if you have a blog? Maybe not everybody has a blog, but a lot of people have a Twitter account or a Facebook account at least. Even my mother has a Facebook account. Instagram account, YouTube channel, Snapchat, which many of my students are using, WhatsApp, Tumblr or blog, Google Plus, Google Hangout, many different ways that we can use to share and express our views. Let's look at what it says in what you cannot publish. Okay. This should be quite straightforward first. You cannot publish the results of an election survey. I didn't know that until I checked it out. You can't conduct a survey.
Is this only during the period between nomination day and polling day, or even before that?
I think even before.
Even because there is, well, you can't actually run an election survey until the nomination, because you can't ask people because they don't know where what's being contested about. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
So the survey definitely from the time that the writ of election is the starting date. The moment that an election is declared, because before election declared, actually there's nothing to survey.
Although you could sort of ask people in general, do you support PAP or do you support SDP
Yes.
or do you support
That's right.
NSP or something?
That sounds look like a grey area. If you did it before the writ of election had been launched, how many people are in favour of a particular party? But once the writ of election is actually issued, it becomes a problem it's prohibited to publish the results of your survey. So if anybody's thinking of putting up a nice infographic or pie chart, please take note. Exit polls also and forecasts also not allowed. So if you happen to hang out outside a polling center and poll people, which by the way is illegal in itself, you can't publish the result. And you've already killed yourself twice, because you've shown that you did something illegal, and by publishing it, you did something illegal. Now this one, election advertising that does not contain the name and address of its publisher. This is in 61(1)(c) of the Parliamentary Elections Act. It's under the heading of corrupt practices. So, not really sure why it's there, I guess it fit. But it is an offense to put up election advertising which does not state the particulars of the person who made it or who caused it to be made. And of course, as Jack has covered earlier, false statements. False statements about parties, about candidates are illegal. So,
Does just going back to the second, the one before that, about the address of the publisher.
yes.
The publisher meaning the person who printed it, or the person
Defined as
who
the person
who
made it
authorized.
available, and the person who caused it to be made.
So the guy who prints the printing press, the entity that's the
Printing
the
press.
print has to be stated as well.
And the subsection I'm referring to, I didn't even talk about the printing one. The printing one definitely, but even online, if you are publishing it on your blog, you need to give your particulars. Yes.
Wow.
And the particulars of the person who asked you to publish it.
What constitutes election advertising?
Yeah.
Basically, things that are going to affect influence people to vote.
Oh, so it's very general.
It's
It
actually quite
could be
general,
sort of your
yeah.
personal
It is.
views about candidates who have been introduced and things like
Yes. I can go into a bit more detail about that afterwards. We look at that. So what can happen to you? Fine of up to $5,000, imprisonment up to 12 months. Actually, for some of this, it's up to 3 years. And you cannot be a registered voter for 7 years, and you cannot be an MP for 7 years. That's pretty heavy. That will knock you out for the next general election. So where do you need to show these particulars? If you have a website, it should be on your first page or landing page. I must commend the drafters of the legislation. They know all the correct words. Right? Beginning of your email. Account profile of your microblog. So if you have a Twitter account and you're putting on your Twitter account, you need to put it in your profile, which is not very much space to put that much information. If you have it in your SMS message, you must put it in the body of your SMS. You're really running out of space to make comment. If you're going into a chat room of a web blog or social media, you must put it in your user profile. So we all know social media would be things like Facebook. A web blog, contrary to the understanding of some of our more technical friends here, is not the server log. A web blog is a website where you can put comments, which would be like almost anything that we see online now, because everybody's blog has a comment space. Next to an icon of audio recording. So if you put it on iTunes, you would have to put it in the album art or in your
So
listing.
even SoundCloud, you still have to,
SoundCloud,
no
yes.
matter where it is.
And if you post it on YouTube, you need to put it inside the video recording.
In the recording, not comments on the side of the.
It appears to be part of the material. So, if you are a political party or candidate, you can advertise by website. This is good news. All of these are allowed. They are explicitly, this is a positive list. The words of legislation are, it's a positive list. You can advertise on a website, chat room, social media, video sharing, photo sharing, email, microblog like Twitter, SMS, speech, audio, music, apps. You can even write an app for your political party, your blog, if and only if you declare it to the reporting officer. In section 6.2 of the election advertising rules. It's not in the main act, it's in the rules that are subsidiary to the act. You need to declare your advertising to the reporting officer if you are a party during the campaign. If you are a party during the campaign, you need to declare your advertising.
And
I would say that
How
your
specific is that? I mean, is it is it enough to say, I intend to use all of these methods for advertising? Or does it go down to the level of, I'm going to publish an article about this on this day?
So if I
Because
look
that
at
could be very, very
section
onerous,
6.2 of the rules,
Yeah.
6.2 of the rules say you must tell the reporting officer what the information you are going to
Oh my
publish
goodness.
is, and so you need to give the returning officer within 12 hours after the start of the campaign period, one or more declaration containing the information specified in paragraph 2 relating to every platform that you are going to use. So it looks like, yes, you can give a blanket, I'm going to use all of these.
Or you
I
can,
think it would be good that once you actually start the campaign period, just say, I choke everything.
yeah.
I'm sort of wondering
I think
like how much specificity is required, you see, sort of like, you know, because if a party or candidate had to notify the appropriate officer at the elections department of every single post that they're going to make, wow, you know, that's just incredible. How are they going to do that? You know, they have to have a dedicated officer sending all these messages out.
Yes,
you know,
and I think that would really not be possible because
Yeah.
if you're going to tweet every few minutes,
Right.
you can't be calling the reporting
Right,
officer.
so, yeah.
So it does look that it envisages more of a blanket
Okay.
declaration at the beginning that you are going to be in these places.
And you could sort of give a very generic description saying, and the content is
How
going to
generic?
be about our party or our candidate's position on the matter or something like that.
You know why I have a tablet this size? Because at this age I've looked
You
at
got
the statues of Singapore. I hope that there will be an app for it soon that you can actually increase the size. But for the purposes of the need to see I've moved it already. Where did it go? you need to give your declaration relating to every platform, and the declaration is just to state the address of every site that you're going to use. So you probably give your Twitter handle, your Facebook name, your whatever you're going to use, your email address, and your electronic address of every account that you're going to use. You need to give the numbers of every mobile phone number you're going to use to SMS and WhatsApp. Wow, serious, huh? And any particulars, as the case may be, and it shall be, now to your question, it shall be in such form as the returning officer may require.
Wow.
I hope
So I guess you have to look
the
at the
returning
details
officer
and see,
doesn't
like, yeah.
ask for too much.
Yeah, I do wonder.
Although if I were the returning officer, I wouldn't want to get, it could be overloading. Yeah, it could be massive.
So what if for IRC channels?
IFC channel will be chat room, discussion board. So you need a user profile that now discloses who you are. You can no longer hide under the IRC chat room name or sexy boy 25.
It can't be anonymous, basically.
Definitely
right?
cannot be
It's gotta
anonymous.
declared.
Yeah. So yes, it's not as dire as having to call the reporting officer before every blog post, but to announce beforehand. And so it seems that everybody would then know where you are.
So from an efficiency perspective, it will make more sense to say by default, we assume everything, right?
Yeah.
All they want is the ID of whichever. That's really what I understand from this, right?
Yes.
They want the which are the ones. And
Where
that's
you
it.
are, so that you're not.
So if you're using something else that is not on your list, then you are in contravention.
That's right.
Okay.
Don't use something. So declare everything first.
But this is, of course, only for candidates and parties,
Yes.
not the general public.
Oh, have I got that close?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I think went backward. Yeah.
Did I copy this?
Okay.
Okay. So certain people cannot take part in election activities. For example, primary or secondary school students.
Wow.
Please do not make use of your nephews, nieces, children.
What does it mean to take part? What does taking part mean?
I'm sure it's defined as well.
Yeah, it's defined. It's basically taking part in activities which would promote a particular outcome or getting people to vote a particular way.
So they're carrying the bags of goodies to hand out.
Gets a grey situation. For the blogging purposes, you wouldn't get a primary or secondary school student to go and blog about it. A person under order of supervision, which is fair. I mean, this is somebody who's already
CLTP.
under criminal matters. Yes. Undischarged bankrupt.
Why would that be?
It's
Yeah, why would
unfortunate.
undischarged bankrupt be?
But that's our regime. We have actually quite a decent bankruptcy regime that does help people to
Get out,
rehabilitate their
yeah.
finances. But when you're in that state, there are a lot of things you can't do. I think if you're undischarged bankrupt, this might be the least of the things you really care about.
Yeah.
You just want to get your,
No, but this is taking part of in activities.
yes,
That means, oh,
I have a comment to make about this, but I think I'm going to make it off the record.
we can make it up the record. Yes, of course, we know sometimes people are undischarged bankrupt
For
because they
certain
end up
reasons.
being bankrupt because of
yeah.
many reasons. So anyway,
So you might have to edit
remember,
that part out.
a person who is not a citizen of Singapore also should not be blogging on your blog. Now, if anybody has a guest blogger, or if you have a Facebook page with an admin from another country who's not a Singaporean citizen, then this is an issue.
And actually, this happens more often than you realize because, for example, so many of my colleagues in university are non-citizens. And so actually, strictly speaking, they ought not to be commenting on local elections and so on. Although they are subject area experts on political science and so on.
Well, yes, if what they're saying could be affecting the outcome,
I guess so, yeah.
the only defense is to say nobody listens to me anyway.
So foreign talent is irrelevant from that perspective, lah.
Yes, no, foreign talent is very, very respected, therefore it shows how dangerous.
That's why they cannot participate.
Yes. So that's the whole scenario, but we have special rules on cooling off day. Okay? And cooling off day is really like that iceberg which the Titanic is heading towards. You really have to cool off.
With global warming. be a problem.
So there's some things you cannot do. You cannot publish any election advertising among any electors in the electoral division. So if anything that you put online could be seen by somebody in that particular electoral division, then, which of course yes, anybody anywhere can see it, then it would be not allowed, or to try to persuade people from voting, or dissuade. But you can distribute books that were published before and planned before the election.
Or have a book signing day on the cooling day.
Yes, but you must be able to prove that you had this book signing planned before that day. In the, if I can imagine.
No, you put it there, it says
How many
it's to be
people
signed on
would
cooling
have
off day.
Beautiful luck, right? Of sending their book launch, and then suddenly election is declared. Say, oh, nuts! I already booked the Kinokuniya.
Yeah.
I've got the catering. I want to go and sign it. All my fans will come, and now it's cooling off there. I can't do it. But good news to you, the author of this epic book,
Yeah.
you can still carry on because you planned it before the election was announced. Now this would affect probably about 1 person in 50 million. Right? The chances of this happening are slim to none. But it's nice to know they consider this. You can also share political views non-commercially from one individual to another. And Jack has actually written a very good blog post which I plagiarized extensively.
You're on record now. That's
Yes.
good.
So, yes, there he is. So, one of the things is that you can tell your friends that, yes, I think XYZ party sucks. Or I think I should vote for this, or you should vote for that. And you can tell them individually, you can tell them electronically even. You can Snapchat each other, WhatsApp each other. But the key is one individual to another individual.
So not in a
You
group.
can't do it in a WhatsApp group chat.
Yes, I think in group chat
It doesn't
begins to-
fall within the wording
Yeah.
there, which is tricky.
So the moment your group chat has one other person, you're no longer individual to individual.
Okay.
And Facebook definitely is not. Unless you had a Facebook
Unless it's
message.
a message, yeah.
Direct
Ah,
message.
okay.
You could Snapchat yourself and in 15 seconds the message will be gone. So also it's a non-commercial basis. So you cannot try to get around it by sending everybody individual. Hey, Balji, I vote for so and so. Then I send to Peng one message. So vote for so and so. If I do this one vote, it's possibly it possibly could be commercial.
How would
That's
commercial?
commercial, is it?
How does it?
How does it-
I mean, doesn't commercial mean that it's done for money?
Yeah.
So if I'm just sort of sending a message to one friend to say, vote for XYZ candidate, spread the word, is that relating to money?
Wow, I think 2 questions there. Very good 2 questions.
Yeah.
I think the first part is in my mind, which I have not said. If I was being paid to spam Balji and another separately, then yes, I think it would be on a commercial basis. So sorry, I didn't.
That's clear.
That's clear. I think that would be
If they are my friends, it's okay. The second part of your question is, what if I send to my friends and tell all your friends? Now that sounds like it's treading on dangerous ground.
Yeah.
Even though there's no commercial basis there.
Because now is it just individual to not other individual, or are you asking your friend to become now the spoke? Yeah, sorry.
But in each communication would still be one individual to another individual, so it's interesting.
Yes, it's interesting. We'll see if anybody tries this. A lot of these things we need to see how it works.
Does commercial include benefits in kind?
Yeah, probably commercial include benefits in kind. Now, if you did it out of your own love for a political party, your commitment to the cause, I think that would escape the commercial part. Then it will be non-commercial. Yeah, but once you start getting any benefits, yeah, I think
So in other words, you can do things for free.
you can do things for free, out of love.
Because we are
passion,
told that people won't do things for
dedication.
free.
Where are we, right? People do things for free. Except internet society.
Yeah.
It's not. And if you have anything up already, you can keep it up. You don't have to bring it down.
When should it have been up?
Before pulling up it.
Before pulling off it.
So you can let it stay up. Because it will be also very onerous.
So 2359 September 9th. You have to bring it up.
So you can leave it on.
I seem to recall that at the last election, there were complaints that certain posts went up like 12:02
Yeah.
and things like that, right? There were actually complaints that
But this doesn't affect the mainstream media, right? Cooling off it.
Mainstream media has a different set of restrictions on what they can and cannot do.
On cooling off day,
Yes. There are certain things. Reporting the news of the event is
the day
allowed.
before.
No, on cooling off day. it's
Cooling
okay.
off day, you can
Cooling
still
off day and cooling day.
report
so-
what has
You can
happened.
report.
What has happened on cooling off day?
Yes.
Yes.
But that will appear the next day.
No, no, we can report on cooling off day what happened
The
day before.
the day before,
Yeah.
yes.
I think to make it simple, they can report every day
Yeah.
Yeah.
about everything that's happened on every day.
Of course, they can't publish an exit poll and
Right.
predict the results.
But can they write a commentary based just for polling day?
There's specific things about what the mainstream media can do under the Parliamentary Elections Act. Didn't actually get that ready for this
Never mind,
discussion.
it's okay.
We're looking
We
at
can
it
talk
later.
about that later.
We can talk about it later. Because there is a specific provision.
And it's quite, I think it's defined quite narrowly, right? It's like newspaper registered under the
Yes,
Newspaper and
that
Printing
is
Presses
correct.
Act.
As you
uh,
said, mainstream media, right?
Broadcaster, registered under the Broadcasting Act. So it's not just any blogger who's got a site. I think,
Yeah,
It's
not
quite
only just your
specific.
own newsletter which you declare to be media. It is the established MSN.
No, but then you said blogger. Bloggers can. Bloggers are not under the cooling off day restrictions. It's the party that cannot.
Oh,
No. I think this applies to all.
Oh, is it?
isn't
Yeah.
Cooling off applies to everybody because it's a person. A person.
No, but I thought you send email and stuff like that, or you send Telegram or whatever messages. It's between you and whoever is receiving it,
And hang on,
or mailing list or stuff like that.
Okay. 78B. Everybody must remember 78B. It's the most important.
78B.
No person shall.
Wow.
No person shall.
Wow.
So person. So long as you qualify to be a person, you shall not do it. You don't have to be a party. So long as you are a person.
That's not how I understood it to be, but if that's what is said, wow.
Yeah, no person shall at any time on polling day or the eve knowingly publish. And what can happen to this person?
Hmm.
This person could be arrested without warrant
Seriously,
because it's an arrestable offence. The moment you see it, police have the right to arrest.
without warrants.
Section 64 of Criminal Procedure Code. Fine up to 1,000 or 5,000 or imprisonment up to 12 months. Your possible defences. So you will want to know, what if this happened to me, somebody sabot me? Say you're a network service provider under Section 26 of the Electronic Transaction Act, meaning that you provide a platform. If you provided a forum, a discussion board, and you are purely the provider of this network and you have no responsibility for moderating it, or if you're an ISP, which is a subset of network provider, you could be an institution that, and your students are using a discussion board, so educational institutions want to make use of this, then you are okay. It's not your fault. It's your users that are doing this. So, especially those of us of education institutions, that's if our students run wild on the discussion board, it's not the school's fault. Or it arose from circumstances beyond your control and you took all reasonable steps. This will be something for you to prove that somebody really took over your site and you really couldn't stop them. Or it happened in the dead of night while you were asleep and you only found out in the morning. So, we all know about this happened in 2011, where the two most prominent candidates of that year filed police reports against each other for breaching the cooling off day requirement. Mind you, if the police had decided they could have just arrested both of them, what a drama that would be. In the end, police, what were they alleging against one another? Posting on Facebook. And posting on Facebook comments which were thought to be political, triggered off police reports. In the end, the police did not take further action beyond stern warnings. So we can't conclusively say whether if you post a statement on Facebook like, oh, I think tears in Parliament is worse than anything else, is anything more than a somewhat maybe inappropriate statement. We don't actually have a decided legal case to say whether a Facebook post of this nature would be considered to be in breach of cooling off provisions. But we do know that people are ready to file police reports.
You're waiting outside the station.
It's okay. There are neighborhood police posts
Everywhere.
Very convenient.
But they close after midnight.
So you have to wait till the morning.
Wait till the morning to file.
Yeah, just wait till the morning when they open. You can file.
Can
a
this
police
be
report.
used as a precedent?
This is not a precedent.
There's nothing.
Because
No?
there's
You
no.
didn't go to court.
There's no court case.
No, the police didn't take any action.
No, because the police
They won't.
have no reported reason for why they did so,
Yeah.
and it's
So
the
the fact that
discretion.
they they were given a warning, right?
Warning, yes.
So this was the warning that if I also contravene, or technically contravene, then I can use this as a precedent to say,
I don't know if the police are bound by their precedents. The courts are bound by precedents because of the legal rule of stare decisis. But I don't think the police bind themselves. That I don't know. That we have to check. But I don't think they would say that my prior actions determine how I behave later. Because there is no legal principle that says they are bound by what they did earlier. That's an interesting question. Would
I think every
they
case
react the
is-
same way?
Most cases are treated as unique.
unique, is it?
Yeah. It could be that the actions taken by the police create a legitimate expectation that they will not take certain actions, but you have to satisfy a lot of special requirements for that. So in most cases, they would say every case is different, and you've got to look at the context. And just because we have not taken action in one case in the past doesn't mean that we will not take action in a future case.
Yeah. And actually, once they're given a stern warning in the first instance, if the exact thing were repeated, even by somebody else, they could say that, oh, I gave a warning in 2011 and you still want to do something which is so public.
Assuming it's the two individuals in this example.
No.
Or
because
can be anybody
that
else.
warning was so public. Yeah. So, just to run through some other things which you shouldn't say online anyway, any time of the year. Even not if you're not cooling off, even if you're chilling out at the beach. Okay, just wanted to. Remember, we also have a Sedition Act. It's still there. So don't incite hatred or contempt for the government.
And this again has unfortunately happened in this election.
Because people, inciting hatred or contempt is pretty wide. Raise discontent among Singaporeans. My goodness, who would ever do that? Raise discontent on this election. Why would anybody ever do that? Create hostility between races and classes. Classes is a very good word. Because classes does not have to be a race or a religion, it can be a category. It could be an orientation.
They didn't say caste, right?
Class could be a class.
Could be a class. That's why it could be a
Class
class.
is wide enough to include class.
Classes can be caste, right?
Yes. Of course, Internal Security Act, this one don't play. You compromise national interest or public order, or you incite violence, or you are likely to reach to breach of peace. So if you tell people, why don't we all storm the Padang or something? Yeah. Undesirable publications. The first parts are quite juicy. Torture, sex, violence, sex, sexual violence. Yeah. So remember not to put this in anyway. Nudity of persons, yeah, okay. Promoting crime or terrorism, and this one could come up in a political debate that members of a particular community or group are inferior. It's interesting. Because there are categories of people.
So-
Again, like the class thing.
So if they say if it is superior, it's okay. Is that what you mean? Oh, that group is superior to me. That's fine.
No, that's impliedly saying that
implying
they're
that they are
inferior.
Also, he's saying that the group is
That is, I'm inferior. No, that group is superior. So I'm therefore
so perplexing.
Be safe, like, yeah.
I'm safe then
Yeah.
because I didn't say
Yes, I think undesirable publications is not the problem.
not the problem.
Confusion will be the problem.
I didn't realize it was as specific as that.
Yeah. So any group again, any class, category of people that you say is inferior, whether maybe it's relating to the immigration status even. So, okay. Then the last thing to remind anybody who's in, does anybody here have more than 50,000 unique IP hits? I wish. But actually I don't wish. Because if we go over 50,000 each month, then we need to put a performance bond. It's not cash, it's basically a guarantee. But why is this guarantee there? Because if you step across the line, which some people want to do, the 50,000 can be forfeited, like that. The whole idea of performance bond is you don't need to have a whole process of charging somebody in court or raising. You can just say, you agreed that you wouldn't talk about these things. I give you 24 hours, you don't do it, I call the bank and the 50,000 is forfeited. So that's a real, and of course this hits people in Singapore, this hits people where it hurts the most, the pocket. So please remember all these things also, so don't do any of these things.
The challenge here, the 50,000 unique IP, right? Getting the actual data is not easy to do at all, unless you own the entire infrastructure to know that these were individual IPs and from Singapore. That's a huge expectation. I mean, if I'm on a Facebook page, for example, right, or Twitter, how would I know who? I have no idea because I have no access to any of the logs.
Well, the good news is that you will be informed. I noticed that some sites are informed. By the way, congratulations. We found out that you have more than 50,000 uniques. Please fill up this license and put in your bond.
So then the question to you, can you challenge that? Is it? Well, it's 50,000, so I have to have
audit.
An audit. Yeah, can you audit it for me, please?
I only get 49,900
Yeah.
every month.
It never
I
crossed.
think that's challengeable, right?
It makes sense. You should be challenged. You should be able to review.
Because the authority would have to establish that,
There's
that
actually
this is in fact
you would need a log of some sort.
They need to prove. I mean, you have to prove it to me that it is indeed 50,000
And it can't be a spike where suddenly you were hit by maybe a
No,
botnet
it's
or
actually
something.
it's 50,000
Over a period.
over like
Yeah.
average within a period or
So you can't be like a victim of botnet attack and then after that end up qualifying for classes.
Well, you could be a victim because you can trigger 50,000 different systems to come to your site. That can be done.
But not on an ongoing basis.
I mean, you can time the whole thing, spread it out, and
That might go. Yours is scope of discussion.
Right.
It's unique addresses.
Yes,
It's not like repeat.
Yeah, unique
No, but
addresses.
he can actually make. Well, I'm not saying he can, but I'm saying that
The
a
generic
person-
key.
They can do that.
A generic person could actually trigger off 50,000 sleeper computers
Yeah.
around Singapore, full of malware. Because none of us update our antivirus. And antivirus can't spot it anyway.
As long as you're running Windows, it's easy to do.
Yes, that's right. That's why you should run Red Hat Linux. Word from us. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay,
Thank
yeah,
you.
Thanks.